Thank you for joining me on this adventure. Your presence means the world to me. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Indigenous science. We hope you find it enlightening. Indigenous science is the application and intersection of indigenous knowledge and science. In ecology, this is sometimes termed traditional ecological knowledge. Indigenous science refers to the knowledge systems and practices of indigenous peoples, which are deeply rooted in their cultural traditions and relationships understanding of an indigenous nation's territory or place. Indigenous science is holistic. It follows the same methods of Western science, including but not limited to observation, prediction, interpretation, questioning. Despite the knowledge and expertise that indigenous science brings, it has often been devalued by the Western scientific establishment. However, there has been a growing recognition in recent decades of the importance of incorporating indigenous perspectives and knowledge systems into mainstream scientific practice, particularly in fields such as ecology and environmental management. In the upcoming section, we'll be dissecting traditional and scientific and exploring its intricate connections to our topic. Indigenous knowledge and experiences have traditionally been passed down orally from generation to generation. The concept of indigenous science promotes the idea that every culture has its own science and understanding of the world. This point of view has been employed by scientists and policy makers to adopt new paradigms for the interpretation and human management of natural processes. While there are differences in the use of and structure between indigenous science and scientific knowledge, indigenous science has an empirical basis and has traditionally been used to predict and understand the world. In this chapter, we'll be shedding light on ecology and its role in shaping our understanding. Indigenous science is often used by the term traditional ecological knowledge or TEK. However, indigenous science refers to a multi-contextual thought, whereas TEK refers to a term given by Western scientists to explain more regarding ecology, but is a good representation of a category of indigenous science. The study of ecology focuses on the relationships and patterns between organisms in their environment, which is a fundamental aspect of indigenous science. Using the subject of ecology is a great place to start when looking to see the different pathways of bridging indigenous science and Western science. However, since this knowledge is place-based, it is important to understand that the various knowledges can vary depending on the questions and answers needed. It is often seen in Western science, the combination of two sciences to create a new subject with a new form of understanding. For example, ethnobiology combines biology with ecology, allowing ethnobotanists to utilize methods of indigenous knowledge and botany for the purpose of identification and classification of species. Using ecology can also be a great start when trying to understand the perspective of holistic thought by thinking of impacts such as how the declining fish population affects nature, the food web, and coastal ecosystems. Indigenous science has helped to address ecological challenges including the restoration of salmon, management of seabird harvests, outbreaks of hantavirus, and addressing wildfires. In the next portion, we'll be immersing ourselves in the realm of place-based sciences and examining its broader implications. Indigenous science, unlike Western science, differs in perspective because indigenous science is subjective and not reductionist and objective like Western science is. What this means is that a person's understanding of science is holistically based on their territory, cultural practices, and experiences teachings throughout life. This understanding in contemporary settings has led to the collaboration between indigenous communities and scientists in projects, thus indigenizing the scientific method. This allows for indigenous-led projects and community work to respect and legitimize their knowledge and understandings. Climatology studies have made use of traditional knowledge among the Inuit when studying long-term changes in sea ice. As well as in ecology, indigenous knowledge has been used in biological areas including animal behavior, evolution, physiology, life history, morphology, wildlife conservation, wildlife health, and taxonomy. Let's zoom in on indigenous technologies and understand its implications. The definition of technology is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes, especially in industry. This would imply that when an indigenous technology was developed, the science or knowledge of it came first. There are many examples of indigenous technologies that were developed for specific use based on their location and culture, such as clam gardens, fish wars, culturally modified trees, looms, textiles, jewelry, etc. It is also important to note that these technologies were not as simple as providing tourist experiences but range a wide variety of subjects such as agri and mariculture, fishing, forest management and resource exploitation, atmospheric and land-based management techniques. Indigenous technologies were not commodities for profit but land-based, ecologically sustainable feats of science and mathematics. Choco Canyon is an excellent example of this. As we enter this new phase, let's analyze notable scholars from different angles and evaluate its significance. Nancy Celsius, Mary Boy, Carly Noon, Lydia Jennings, Ian Som Maynard, Robin Wall Kimmerer. I love interacting with my viewers, so leave me a comment and I'll do my best to respond.